these vloggers gave some misconceptions of the Philippines, and one that I didn't mention at that time was that everybody here speaks English fluently, and that is absolutely not correct.
Well, is it okay if I record you for the channel?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Jeremy, welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know you, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Jeremy Pick. I am from the United States. Dallas, Texas is my home, but most of the year I live in the Philippines.
So this is about seven months later that I'm bumping into you.
That was crazy. Just crazy to bump into you earlier this evening.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, where are we at right now?
We're on the famous boulevard in Dumaguete.
Yeah. So, as I recall, and hopefully my memory is good enough, 7 months ago when I met you, you were telling me that you're telling me about your experience here in the Philippines, as well as other countries, and how you felt that some things on YouTube by YouTubers were over-exaggerated. Okay. Well, 7 months later, and by the way, you said you'd never been to Dumaguete.
Exactly.
Now you've been to Dumaguete. What do you think?
I've just been here a couple of days. The main reason I came, I had a couple of days to kill actually. I'm not due in Cebu until a couple days from now. So I had a couple days to kill, and I thought, seeing as I hadn't been here, that I would get firsthand experience. So it's fine. No complaints.
No complaints.
Just being a tourist, walking on the boulevard.
So why is it that you felt that some YouTubers over-exaggerated, and 7 months later, do you still feel that
Oh,
way?
absolutely, I do feel that way. I think there are some that try to keep it real, but overall, in a lot of the videos that I watch, they're still talking about how cheap it is, how you can live here for $1,000 like a king, and just things which just, and of course the female thing, that there are just countless gorgeous females just waiting for you, and I guess they have an incentive, maybe, because that's what their job is as a YouTuber. They have an incentive to promote the Philippines and to get clicks and to try to get people to come over here. But I always prefer people that are more authentic.
So lay it out for everybody. And by the way, I think a lot of people, they seen your first interview that I did with you. Did you check out any of those comments?
Oh yeah, I did read a lot of the comments. Absolutely.
You're laughing. What'd you think about those comments?
Some of the people judged me pretty wrongly, but other than that, it's okay.
Well, how so? How would you say? I'm kind of curious. How do you think they judged you wrongly?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't really even want to go there, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah. Well, hey, look, it's up to you, man. But overall, you think the comments were positive?
Oh yeah, most of them were very positive, very kind. Absolutely. But you're always going to find, especially on social media now, there are so many cynical people who are just looking for negative comments to make.
Trolls.
Just people who are very unhappy with their own life. So they see everything through a cynical lens. So, you just gotta accept that as part of the game.
Well, the thing is that you're just giving your perspective, your point of view, right? And that's all you're doing.
Right.
And so so you ventured out of Davao, right? When I met you, you was in Davao.
Absolutely.
And so
still looking to find that sweet spot. I really enjoy the Philippines, but I haven't yet found a particular place where I feel, this is the place. This is where I want to settle down. I haven't found that place yet, but I've been a number of different cities since we talked 7 months ago.
Okay, what cities have you been?
Since then, spent time in BGC.
Okay.
up in Manila.
So you was up in BGC.
Yeah.
What'd you think about BGC?
It was kind of antiseptic, to be honest with you. That was my feeling. In a lot of ways, it was almost like being in America. It was much more modern, very, very clean, very wide sidewalks, lots of malls, lots of really fancy condos. You didn't even feel you were in the Philippines. And that was actually almost a negative, if you will, because I came to the Philippines because I wanted to be in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And when you're in BGC, you almost feel like you're back in the U.S. sometimes. Everything is so different from the rest of the Philippines, so much cleaner. And the sidewalks, as I said, they're magnificent.
Up in BGC?
Oh yeah, they're wide, beautiful, clean. They really take care of the city, the local government there.
Okay, and after BGC, where'd you go?
Oh my gosh, let's see. Trying to think of all the different places. Spent some time in Cebu. Spent some time in Bohol, in a couple of different cities in Bohol. Drawing a blank right now.
Any favorite place yet that stands out above the others?
No, that's the thing. I really haven't found a place yet that really stands out. But I do like the Philippines overall, and I do think that I would like to stay in the Philippines.
So you're staying in the Philippines?
I intend to, yeah.
And what is it? I mean, I remember the last time I talked to you, you told me that you had been to Vietnam and
I've been to
Thailand.
every country in Asia except for Burma, which is now called Myanmar. Haven't been there, but I've been to every other country in Asia.
So what is it about the Philippines that sticks out or that you favor over the other ones?
Well, three things actually come to mind right off the bat. One of them is the people are very kind. I get treated with great respect here, more respect than I get treated at home, ironically, back in the U.S. The people have been overwhelmingly kind to me since I've been here. Another thing is almost everybody has at least a basic understanding of English, and that's a nice thing. And then the thing that I think a lot of expats maybe underestimate is the visa situation is very, very liberal. It's very, very easy for us as long as we behave ourselves and don't get on any blacklists. You can basically stay here in perpetuity. They're very, very easy about it, and that is not the case in Vietnam. That's not the case in Thailand. Not the case in Malaysia. So that's something that I like quite a bit.
Well, you know what? You mentioned about English, and it reminded me that off camera that we actually talked a little bit about that. And what was it that you were talking about the level of English that is often not talked about?
Well, again, that's something I did not mention 7 months ago when we talked, and you asked me at that time what were the things that I thought these vloggers gave some misconceptions of the Philippines, and one that I didn't mention at that time was that everybody here speaks English fluently, and that is absolutely not correct. Most people here, especially if they're under 40, I would say, if they're in the cities, certainly can converse basically in very basic English. But don't think that you can have, sophisticated conversations with most Filipinos. I don't want to paint with too broad a stroke because I know the comments will start hammering me and say, "Oh, how can you say that?" I know a bunch of Filipinos that are well educated. Yes, I know that. But by and large, the picture that's painted oftentimes by the vloggers is that everybody here is very fluent in English. And I have found that they don't understand figures of speech, colloquialisms, expressions. They misunderstand those. And what I would say is it's a utilitarian English. That means the very basic things you can communicate, but you're not going to have a real sophisticated conversation most of the time
Yeah.
with most Filipinos.
So is it fair to say that, say, a man from America comes over here and has a relationship with a Filipina? Is it fair to say that it might be difficult for the two of them to have a conversation on a deep level?
Okay, what I have heard many, many, many times from expats is that their conversation with their Filipina tends to be on the basic side. And when they want to have stimulating conversations, that's when they get together with their expat friends, usually from their own country. A British person wants to get together with other Brits, an Aussie wants to get together with other Australians, Americans love to get together with other Americans, etc. And they'll get together and shoot pool, have a couple beers and whatever, and spend an hour or two just talking politics, talking sports, etc.
Yeah. Well, what advice, and by the way, so 7 months later, the previous advice that you gave, are you saying that it still stands?
Oh, 100%. I would double it. I would double the 100% and make it 200%. At the time, I said that I thought the vloggers had a tendency to make it sound as though you can live over here far more inexpensively than is realistic. And again, I know that as soon as I say that, I'm going to get comments hammering me because they live in the province and they're getting by on $500 a month US with no problem. So obviously I know that there are those sort of exceptions, but I do think that we have a tendency to paint a picture that it's super cheap to live here, and it's not always the case, especially if you're in the cities. And then the other thing that I mentioned that I thought was greatly exaggerated was the ease with which foreign men could find great relationships with beautiful Filipinas, that I thought that that was also greatly exaggerated.
So 7 months later, when I first met you, everything you told me, in your view, in your experience, stands today.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the time I said that I thought the thing that was the most important, you asked me if there was any advice that I would give other people, and I remember at the time the advice that I gave, and I point that finger to me. I'm not speaking down to other people, where I said you have to learn to go with the flow. It's a different culture. It moves much more slowly. What we would consider common sense is not always so common over here. What we consider efficiency in the West is a concept which is not very common here a lot of times. They don't always do things the way we would think is the most efficient. But I have had to learn to slow down, to check myself, to realize that I'm a visitor here, and to realize that I'm not in America anymore, and to not be so quick to criticize, because it's a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful that the Filipino people have really opened their arms to me. I have been treated magnificently the entire time I've been here, so I have absolutely no complaints at all.
So are you telling me, Jeremy, that it's not going to help you to come over here as an American and try to impose your way, or try to change the Filipino people?
I have run into some of those types of Westerners, and what happens is they usually become very bitter, and those are the guys that you usually see sitting in the bars with their mates,
Mm-hmm.
getting sloshed and just criticizing the Philippines for 2 or 3 hours solid, and talking about how all the women are scammers and all the people are dumb. And I'm just amazed that these people don't go home. It's like, why are you here? Why are you here? Don't come over and try to change the people. Maybe you need to be changed, or go home.
Well, you know what? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody forced anybody to get on a plane, to buy tickets, and fly over to a place that they're going to complain about. You could leave anytime, right?
Yeah, well, just speaking for Americans, because I am an American, and I love America and Americans, so I'm not slamming my country, but Americans do have a propensity to look down sometimes at other cultures, and that is a potential weakness that we definitely have. And so I suppose some of those people came over with misconceptions, and then when they don't find a girlfriend in 3 months, or when they get burned once or twice, or when things are a little more expensive than they thought they would be, some of these misconceptions that I'm talking about, then they get angry and they get bitter and they think that they're being scammed. They think that they're being used, and they get frustrated.
First off, I love the word propensity. Great word. But this is kind of, you say misconceptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Where, in your opinion, and I don't know what you're going to say, but I have an idea. I could be wrong, but where do you think the root of a lot of these misconceptions come from that guys have back in America? Where do you think they're coming from, these misconceptions?
Well, again, I'll keep preaching it over and over again, and I know I'll get some negative comments, but I think that some of these videos are really painting a picture that there are just lots of gorgeous young Filipinas that want to be with elderly, fat American guys. And when said elderly, fat American guys come over and aren't instantly successful, then they have a tendency to start judging the women rather than looking in the mirror. And they start thinking, oh, well, these women are all gold diggers, or they're all scammers, or what have you, and they get embittered by that. That's a very simple answer off the top of my head. I think some of these guys come over with unrealistic expectations.
Well, you know what, Jeremy? It was a total surprise. A lot of people might not believe it. It seems like this was maybe planned out.
I was absolutely shocked when I was walking along and saw your face. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? That's one of the beauties of life. You don't know who's going to pop around the corner.
This was a highlight it was a highlight for me running into you. I mean that sincerely, because it was just, I just thought to myself when I saw you, I just thought, oh my gosh, what a small world.
Well, you know what? I greatly appreciate that, Jeremy. And you know what? I could say the same. It was the highlight of my day, bumping into you. Totally unexpected. And I was going to say something, but I forgot it. But that's okay. Well, look, I appreciate you. Oh, a lot of people said in the comments, and it's okay. It didn't hurt my feelings, that you're better spoken than the interviewer. And you know what? I agree. You're a very well-spoken guy. Very well-spoken guy. It's an honor, a privilege to have you back on this channel.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much for saying that.
Well, you're more than welcome. And look, I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Dumaguete and wherever else you may go.
Yeah, heading for
Is there any final words that you'd like to say to the guys out there? You know what? I normally don't do this. I just thought about it. Subscribe, like, comment, share the video if y'all like it. Give Jeremy a big thumbs up because he deserves it. Huh? You're a good guy, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you for sharing your views and your opinions, and that's just what they are. All right?
Yes, sir.
You take care, man.
Thank you. God bless.